why you do it. Two people can have the same degree and the same job, but they have different level of satisfaction and impact. Now, the difference is usually self-knowledge. One is working from pressure and the other is working from purpose. So what we say is that identity shapes your direction. So if you don't define who you are, the world will define you. And oftentimes, the world defines you too narrowly by stereotypes, by expectation, or by limitations that don't even reflect your full potential. So self-discovery helps you push back against that. It gives you language for your strength. It gives you confidence in your voice. It helps you say yes to the right opportunities and no to the wrong ones. So today is not about labeling yourself. It's about understanding yourself well enough to design your future with intention. Now, this is not a personal development for feelings only. It's professional development for your life's work. So, if you're still with me, I'd like to know, give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. Great, 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 great. I want to be sure that I'm not talking to myself. Yes, it's good. I see those hands. Great, great. All right. So let's proceed. We need to understand our strengths. What are those things that you do naturally well? Now, when we talk about strength, many people immediately begin to think about academic performances, such as grades, awards, certificates. But you see, strength is much broader than that. Your strengths are the patterns of your thinking, the patterns in your behavior, the patterns in your performances that come naturally to you, and then you consistently produce good results from those patterns. So it's not just something you can do. No, it's something you do well with energy. That distinction is very important. There are many things we can do, but some of those things drain us, right? But strength, on the other hand, often energizes us. So even when the task is very challenging, because it's our strength, we don't find it draining. Now, strengths are usually grouped into three categories. Strengths are usually grouped into three categories. Before we proceed, if you know you're not with your notepad and pen, it would really be great if you could get one, because we're going to be doing a lot of reflection and you might just be needing that. Okay? So let's have you get a notepad, a pen. I could give us, like 2 minutes to do that. So let's get a notepad, let's get our pen. Just 2 minutes, okay? Oh, great. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so let's go on. Since you have your pen, you have your notepad, let's continue. Now, there are three categories of strengths. One is skills. And these skills here, we talk about what? Things that you have learned to do. Things you've learned to do. Like writing, organizing. It could be that you know how to teach. You know how to research. You've learned to manage projects. Now, in terms of talents, talents are those things that you have naturally. You have those things naturally. It could be that you know how to communicate clearly. Now, there are people who knows how to communicate clearly. When it comes to communication, when it comes to communication, there are people who don't really know how to communicate. Am I right? Sometimes when they communicate, it seems like they're creating more misunderstanding, right? So there are people who have this great talent of communicating. How about problem solving? Some persons are naturally problem solvers. I mean, where there is a problem, you bring them to it instantly. They begin to put a solution immediately. Now that's a talent. That's a very good talent. Or is it noticing patterns? Yes, some people are very good at noticing patterns. They could tell you, oh, I've seen you do this, and this. Some people can stay very calm under pressure. I used to have a friend who, no matter the pressure in the office, he is very calm. I don't know how he does that, but I can give it to him that that's a natural talent. So not everybody can stay calm under pressure. So another third category is character strength. Now, this character strength has to do with qualities that you possess. This could be your ability to be reliable. Who can rely on you? You have empathy, right? You practice discipline. Now, not everyone is disciplined enough. Some people can set a goal, and before you know it, nobody's talking about the goal anymore. You know how people used to have New Year resolutions, right? Great. So most times, some people have this New Year resolution, and before you even think of starting, the person has already slouched. So having discipline for me is a very great character strength. Resilience, integrity. So many people underestimate their strengths because they assume that if it's easy for me, it must not be special. That's a completely wrong mindset. Oftentimes, what we feel is easy for us is difficult for someone else, and that's a signal. That is a data about who you are that you keep neglecting. So I want us to reflect quietly for a moment. Now, think about situations where people come to you for help. Think about a situation where you completed something successfully without much struggle. Think about a situation where you felt very proud how you handled a particular situation. Now, what do you see? Those moments are clues. They reveal patterns, and patterns reveal strengths. So, understanding your strength is not about ego, it's about alignment. When your academic choices, your extracurricular activities, your career direction align with your strengths, what you build is momentum. You don't build frustration. Now, it's just like since we're all students, let's use this very simple example. Someone who is passionate or loves art was given an admission to study medicine. I'm sure you know that's a serious case, right? So how do you think the person is going to be reacting in class? How do you think the person is going to be reacting? It's not going to be easy, right? Now, the person is only going to be learning out of frustration what he or she is being taught in class. It might be a lot more difficult for them to understand why. Because that person was never interested in that particular course to begin with. So you could see that they are frustrated. They are not doing it for the love of it. So when you now align your choices with your strengths, you begin to build momentum, you grow faster, you gain confidence, and what happens? You become known for specific things. So let's say everybody gets to know you as a motivational speaker. Why? That's because you've been doing speaking progressively to the point that you are now known to become a motivational speaker. So imagine if someone walks up to you and say, "Oh, I saw in your profile that you're a medicine student," and then you're like, "Oh, yes, I'm a medicine student, but I'm also a motivational speaker." I mean, like everywhere. And we all know that saying, that proverb, "Jack of all trades," right? So in the professional world, clarity about what you do well is very powerful. It helps you to introduce yourself confidently. It helps you prepare for interviews. It helps you choose internships and leadership roles strategically. So today, we want to identify those strengths, not perfect though, but intentionally. All right? Now, let us identify strength patterns. We want to move from theory to reflection. Now, self-discovery is not something you achieve by listening alone. It requires rational thinking. I want you to take out your notepad for the next few minutes. This is going to be a quiet reflection time. No discussion yet. No overthinking. Just best answers. I want you to write them down. First question. 3 things you do very well. 3 things you do very well. Put it in your notepad. We're going to be sending it to chat later on. Now, this can be academic. It could be your personal life. It could be leadership related. But I want you to think broadly. Maybe you are good at explaining ideas clearly. Maybe you're good at staying calm in stressful situations. Maybe you are dependable and always meet deadlines. I want you to pen it down. 3 things you do very well. Are we still together? Okay. That's great. 3 things you do very well. Now, next question is, what do people consistently appreciate about you? So sometimes others see our strengths more than we clearly do. So what do your friends, what do your classmates, what do your family members always thank you for? They will say, "Oh, Nasiba, thank you so much for reminding me about deadlines. Oh, you're like a calendar to me," right? "Oh, thank you so much, Zara, for always showing up for me. Thank you for your advice." What do people consistently appreciate you for? And then the last question, what do you feel most confident about? Now, confidence often appears when operating inside our strength. So now, everything you wrote down, answers to the 3 questions, I want to take 3 minutes to send it to the chat. I don't want you to sound impressive, okay? I want you to write what is true. Now, let's send them to the chat. I like to read them out. Good. Coding Python, maths, leading my book club. I am doing well. Great. Hard work. Thank you so much. Patience. Good. Let's keep them coming. People usually appreciate me for my empathy and kindness. Amazing. Hard work, trustworthy, patience. Great. I'm good at writing and creating stories. Amazing. Program in Mazia. Great. Understand new concept. Oh, this is amazing. I mean, not everybody actually understand new concepts immediately. That's great. Yes, English skills. That's nice. Great. Helping, trustworthy, nice. But I mean, that's wonderful. Now, I want you to look at what you wrote. Do you notice the patterns? I feel confident about my deep body and my appearance. Amazing, Nasima. Now, look at what you wrote. Do you notice the patterns? For example, are there things that relate to communication? Are there answers that relate to leadership?
Are there answers that relate to organization? Are there answers that show your creativity? Now, growth begins when you recognize patterns in yourself. Those patterns are not random. No, they are indicators of where you are likely to thrive. Now, if you have the ability to understand new concepts, what does that mean? It means that you are someone who might be very good at research, someone who might be very creative, someone who has a very good instinct. Now, these are places you can thrive. Okay? So, now that you're done writing, I want you to cycle one strength that you believe will be important in your future career. Just one. We'll return to the rest later, okay? So cycle just one. Just one. If you've done that, give me a thumbs up, okay? Great, great, great. So self-awareness is not about labeling yourself forever. It is about gathering evidence about who you are right now so you can make informed decisions. Right? Now, I want us to understand personality. I want us to understand personality. Strength tells us what we do well. Right? Personality helps us understand how we do it. Your personality influences how you make decisions, how you respond to pressure, how you communicate, and how you work with others. Now, it affects your leadership style, your study habits, and even the type of work environment where you succeed. Now, oftentimes, personality gets reduced to simple labels like introvert and extrovert. Personality is bigger than that. Being introverted does not mean that it does not mean you are being shy. Okay? And being extroverted does not mean confidence. No. It simply describes where you gain energy and how you process information. So some people begin to think like when some people are in quiet reflection, that's when they think better. Some people think before they speak. Others think best by talking through the ideas. Some people prefer structure and detailed planning. Some people are comfortable with, improvisation and flexibility. For me, as much as I like structure and detailed planning, I'm still very flexible because I feel like something could happen and I have to change one or two things, right? So some people are naturally logical and analytical, while the others are people-centered and intuitive. So you see that we have different kinds of personality, but none of these styles is superior. The key is awareness. Now, when you understand your work style, you stop trying to imitate someone else's way of succeeding. Instead, you begin to optimize your own. Now, this awareness is very powerful. Let's take maybe one or two examples. If you're a logical person, like an analytical person, it means that you're someone who might thrive in research, in strategy, in finance, or policy, right? If you're someone who is people-oriented or relational, it means that you may excel in community work, in HR, in education, or even leadership. And for someone who is creative and adaptable, you may perform well in innovative roles and entrepreneurship. So the mistake that many young professionals are making today is that they are choosing roles that conflict with their personality. So over time, what begins to happen is that it begins to create exhaustion. You get tired instead of growing. So that's why understanding your personality is not about limiting yourself, but what? It's about positioning yourself strategically. Okay? Now we want to bring this to life. Let's bring this to life. I'm going to read out a few pairs of references, and as I do that, I want you to mentally choose the one that feels more natural to you. More natural to you. Not what sounds impressive, okay? Not what you think you should choose, but what is genuinely true most of the time. I'm going to be reading out that now. If you're ready, I want you to give me a thumbs up. Amazing, okay. I still have people here, that's great. Alright, so first question. Do you prefer working alone to think deeply or working in a group to exchange ideas? Let's put that down immediately. Do you prefer working alone to think deeply? Okay. Sometimes we need to work alone, okay? Absolutely. Okay. Alone, great. Okay. Somebody likes working in group, great. Great, great, great. Okay. Now, second question. Do you prefer planning carefully before starting or starting quickly and then adjusting along the way? I'm going to take that again. Do you prefer planning carefully before starting or starting quickly and then adjusting along the way? Okay. Alright. Planning carefully first, okay. Okay, except in cases of emergency. That's great. That's great. Good. Now let's take the final question. When facing a challenge, do you rely more on logic and analysis or on intuition and understanding people? I'll take that again. When facing a challenge, do you rely more on logic and analysis or on intuition and understanding people? Okay, somebody said logic, okay. Logic and understanding people, okay, sometimes intuition, great, okay. Understanding people, great. Logic, understanding people, okay. So, there are no right answers here, alright? Each of these styles has professional value. And what matters is noticing your pattern. Now, ask yourself this question, and I want you to put it in the chat box when you're done. How does my personality help me to succeed in a professional environment? With what you've answered now, how does it help you succeed in a professional environment? Are we still here?
Dear teacher, can you repeat your question? Because my connection is problem. I can't hear.
Shamina, what did you say?
I say, dear teacher, repeat your question.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, I was asking, now how does your personality help you succeed in a professional environment? Okay, somebody said flexibility. Someone said, let me see that. That situation. I'm fight with right, happiness to not lose hope. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Okay. I see a lot of have flexible personality. Okay, I have leader skills and I'm an honest person. That's great. Okay, and you adapt to every situation. Amazing. Now, if you look at these responses, you may have noticed something important. Diversity of styles strengthens team. So, in a workplace, organizations need planners and improvisers. They need honest people. They need people who understand others. They need collaborative leaders. They need independent thinkers. They need analysts and communicators. So you must understand your own style first before you can contribute effectively. So self-awareness prevents comparison. And then it replaces insecurity with clarity. And that's why you will often say that your personality is not an obstacle for you to overcome, it's a tool to refine. The more you understand how you naturally operate, the more strategically you can position yourself in internships, projects, and future careers. Now, let's talk about your purpose and passion, or passion and purpose. What drives you? We've talked about what you do well and how you work. Now we ask a deeper question. Why do you want to work? What drives you? Now, passion is oftentimes misunderstood. You see, it's not just excitement. It's not just what you enjoy casually. Passion in a professional sense is sustained interest combined with meaning. It is what you care about enough to invest your efforts into, even when it becomes difficult. Now, purpose, on the other hand, is slightly different. Purpose is the impact you want your work to have. It answers the question, who benefits from what I do? So, for many of us, especially those navigating complex social and cultural environments, purpose becomes a powerful motivator. Now, you may feel drawn to education, healthcare, community, technology, entrepreneurship, list them. Not just because you are capable, because there's a change you want to create. Now, there's this urge to create that change. Okay, let us reflect. I want us to write, what topics do you naturally read about or discuss? What topics do you naturally read about or discuss? Okay, the usefulness or harmfulness of social media. Okay, I was asking, what topics do you naturally read about or discuss with your friends? Okay, somebody said environment science, great. Psychology, leadership, philosophy, use of phone, okay, that's great. Situation of a girl child, great. Energy, amazing. Political topics, psychology, that's nice. About our sorrows, amazing. You're going to be a motivational speaker, I'm seeing that. Okay, psychology, life, energy, beautiful, beautiful. Now, what issues in the society makes you think, oh, this needs to improve? What issue in society? Great, use of social media. I mean, amazing. The issue of social media is, I don't want to say it's alarming, but because of the frequent use of it, a lot of people now compare their lives to social media. And the craziest thing is that these people on social media don't even have a perfect life, but we don't know it. Now, behind the scene, they don't really have a perfect life. What we are seeing is what they want us to see. So yes, that's a huge problem. Mindset, thank you, Nasiba. Can we keep them coming? What issues in the society makes you think, good? Limited access to education. And Sana, thank you. That girls are not free. Fauzia, that's amazing. That's an issue. Great. Now we all know, you now know the topic that interests you, right? And you know the issues in society that makes you think, I think this needs to improve. Great. Joblessness, independence, amazing. Now, I want you to imagine your future self. Imagine your future self. What kind of contribution are you making? When you imagine yourself in the future, what kind of contribution do you see yourself making? education team and motivate. Amazing motivator speaking. Nastima. I will help more people. Amazing. 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 Let's keep them coming. Speaking for my people. That's good. Madi, social activist. Amazing. Serve my people in health service. Oh, somebody is healthcare. Oh, you want to become a surgeon? That's so beautiful. Uproot illiteracy. I mean, if I said that is so good. Okay. Take photos. Oh, somebody wants to be a photographer. That's beautiful. Psychologist, consulting with people, okay, helping children. Beautiful. Now, you see that these things makes you feel happy, right? It makes you begin to think, this is what I want to do. So passion without skill can remain a dream, sadly. But skill, strength, and passion, when they intersect, what does that mean? It means that it has given your career a direction. Your career direction becomes clearer. So if you have passion and you don't have a skill, you're just dreaming. If you have a skill and you don't have passion, you're going to feel empty. So these two have to work together. Now, you do not need to have your whole life fully mapped out today, okay? What you need to do is to begin to notice your internal signal. They really matter. You have to follow your curiosity seriously. Now, curiosity is often the first indicator of future specialization. That's the truth. Now, for someone like me, I'm going to give you an example with myself. I love to write. I'm an author of 5 books, currently working on my 6th one. And the things I like to write about are about life experiences. I don't really like is it fiction? Yes. I love non-fiction. I love fiction rather. I don't like non-fiction. Fiction is what talks about life experiences. I think we could add bibliographies to fiction as well. Yeah, exactly. So I love writing and I love reading. I think as at is it 2021 or 22? I read about 40 books the whole year. Yeah, I was that desperate with reading. So now this is where I'm headed. If you're doing something that you're not passionate about, when it becomes tough, you're going to get tired of it. I've done things I wasn't passionate about because I was testing the waters. I was trying to find out what actually suits me, what sits well with me. And I just realized that I love writing and research. And I'm okay with it. Even when I'm angry. I love to write. It's something that keeps me going. So you could understand that curiosity is oftentimes an indicator of something you're going to specialize in the future. So whatever you're curious about always, you need to look into it. It means that's something you might likely get into in the future. So if you're still with me, I want you to give me a thumbs up. Great. All right. Now, we want to connect everything we've been talking about together. We want to connect strength, personality, and passion. Now, you're going to take out your notepad again. And this time around, I want you to think in 3 layers. First, I want you to write down 3 topics or fields that genuinely interest you. I know you did that before, but I want you to put them down in your notepad. 3 topics or fields that genuinely interest you. Now, this might be areas you enjoy studying. It could be areas you enjoy discussing or learning more about. Let's say, for example, psychology, education, public health, um, education reform, entrepreneurship, social media, research, name it. Now, it doesn't have to sound prestigious, okay? If you're interested in makeup, please put it down there. If you're interested in taking photos, put it down there. But you need to choose what actually holds your attention. Now, second, I want you to write down 2 problems in your community on your notepad. 2 problems in your community or in the world that concerns you. Two problems in your community or in the world that concerns you. Now, this correlates to women's access to education, just like most of you have written. It could be joblessness. If you're going for joblessness, it means, one day you want to become an entrepreneur and begin to employ people. It could be economic independence, which is also the same thing or similar to joblessness. It could be health for psychologists. It could be healthcare access. Probably not everyone has an opportunity to healthcare services. It could be digital literacy. People need to be aware of how harmful social media can be, and at the same time, how helpful it can be. Now, something meaningful to you. Write it down. Now, the third thing I want you to do, you're going to complete this sentence. Can you see my screen? Okay, great. So the third, I want you to complete this sentence. In the future, I want to contribute by. Now, what are you going to do? You've already listed what you're studying. You've listed the problems you feel that concerns you. What are you going to do? How do you want to contribute? I want you to be specific. Now, it could be, I want to build a business so that I could help people who are jobless. I want to conduct research on the healthcare system so that we'll get to know what the problem is. Or I want to mentor young women because I'm concerned about girls' education. So put it down there. In the future, I want to contribute by doing what exactly? Now look at your answers. Where do you see the connection? If you're someone who is interested in technology and you care about access to girl education, it means you are drawn to what? Educational technology, maybe. If you're someone who is strong in communication and you also care about women's empowerment, perhaps you might be interested or you might excel in community leadership. So what we are saying is that career clarity rarely appears as a lightning moment. It appears through patterns. So today you are learning to recognize those patterns. This is not about deciding your entire future today. I'm saying that again. But it's about becoming intentional instead of accidental. You are taking every step intentionally. Now, we want to connect the dots to strength, personality, and passion. I want you to look at this full picture. You have identified your strengths, what you naturally do well. You've reflected on your personality, how you prefer to work and lead. You've also explored your passion. What are the issues and areas that matters to you? Now, the real power is not in these pieces individually. No. The power is in how they intersect. I want you to think of it as 3 overlapping cycles. What I'm good at, how I operate best, what I care about. Now, where those cycles overlap, you often find strong career alignment there. Let's imagine someone who is analytical. The person prefers a structured environment, and then the person cares about healthcare access. What does it mean? It means that this combination can be pointing the person towards research, towards public health policy, towards medical administration, towards data-driven impact work, anything in that line. So you begin to notice that there's no single correct path. There are patterns. And your responsibility is to study your own pattern. Now, many young professionals feel pressure to choose quickly. No, for wise professionals, what do? They choose strategically. Strategy begins with alignment. So when your strength, personality, and passion support each other, growth feels challenging but not draining. You will feel stretched but not misplaced. So today is about increasing alignment. The clearer your alignment becomes, the stronger your professional confidence will be. So before the end of today, I want you to walk away with, I don't want you to walk away with your thoughts scattered. I want you to live with clarity, all right? So we are going to take a final moment. Take your worksheet or your notepad again, and I want us to complete these 3 statements. Now, this is like a summary of the questions we have been asking. One strength I am confident about is, put it down. One strength I'm confident about is, put it down. The second says, one issue or field I feel drawn toward is, put it down. Good. Somebody said writing. Good. Confidence. Good. One issue or field I feel drawn toward is, I want you to write it clearly and specifically. Now, one personality trait that shapes how I work. One personality trait that shapes how you work. Put it down. Now, look at your answers together. This is your starting point. That's not your final destination. It's your starting point. And growth is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming a more refined, strategic version of yourself. So, what does self-aware do? It builds 3 things. It builds your confidence, because you now understand your value. It builds your direction because you now understand your alignment. It builds your courage because you understand your purpose. So, especially for young women navigating professional spaces that may not always be equal or predictable, self-awareness is key. When you know who you are, external pressures become less intimidating. You can evaluate opportunities based on alignment instead of fear. So I want you to recognize something today. You did a serious professional work. And many people in the workforce have never paused to think this deeply about themselves. So you are already ahead by choosing reflection over reaction. So I want you to hold on to whatever you have discovered today. We are going to build on it tomorrow. So today, we are not about choosing a career. It's about building the foundation for choosing wisely. You explored your strengths. That is the abilities that give you leverage. You reflected on your personality. That is the way you think, lead, and work best. You considered your passion. That is the issue and fields that give your work meaning. Now, that combination is powerful. Clarity reduces anxieties, and many students feel uncertain about their future because they are trying to decide without understanding themselves first. But what you've done today is reducing that uncertainty by increasing your awareness. The truth is that you might still have lots of questions, and that's normal. But growth is a process. Growth is a process. Now your questions are more informed and they are rooted in identity, not pressure. So for tonight, I want you to observe yourself with intention. Pay attention to what activities energizes you. I want you to pay attention to the task that drains you, the conversations that excites you, and then the environment that makes you feel excited. Okay? Now, tomorrow we will take what we discovered and turn it into strategy. We will talk about opportunity matching. We also talk about time management, talk about how to, fit into what you want to do. So, self-discovery without action remains a reflection. Action without self-discovery becomes misdirection. Okay? Now, what you've done today is completing the first half of the equation. But then I want you to remember this. You are not behind. Okay? You are building intentionally. It doesn't matter what others are saying, but you being here to attend this seminar or webinar or mentorship program shows that what you are being very intentional about your future, and that's what matters most. If I had this privilege back then when I started, I feel like I would have been a lot better than now. Okay, but you have this opportunity right now, an opportunity to discover who you truly are. You don't have to follow your friend. If your friend is interested in healthcare and you are interested in writing, you are two different people, two different personalities. You are both going to flourish in the field that you pick or that you show interest in. So, because Nasiba likes healthcare does not mean that Shakila should also do that. No. Discover who you are. So take your time. I want you to observe yourself. When you go back, ask yourself, oh, what are those activities that energizes me? What are those things that drains me? When I think about it, it drains me. What are they? Now, what are those conversations that when you start talking about it, you light up? Those are things you need to ask yourself. What environment makes you feel very confident about you? Right? And you need to also ask yourself, now this is an assignment. Your cycle of friends, who are those people that breaks you? Your cycle of friends, who are those people that encourages you? Because you need to stay away from toxic friendship. Alright? Any friend that is saying you must be like me, that's not it. That's not helpful. You have to be you because you are special. You are unique. Okay? You are you. And do you know what the acronym I give for you? Young, original, and unique. That is you. I'm putting it in the chat box right now. You. I'm saying that you are young, original, and unique. Young, original, and unique. So anywhere you're going, whatever you're doing, I want you to know that you are you. Okay? You are you. You don't have to be like anyone else. You don't have to be anyone else. You are you. Young, original, and unique. So make sure that you are you. Okay? So at this point, I'm going to be coming to the end of this section. And I am really looking forward to continuing this with you tomorrow. I hope that I'm going to be seeing all of you and many more tomorrow. Okay. Initially, you're welcome. Alhama, thank you. So my plan was making tomorrow a question and answer section after tomorrow's section, we'll have, more time to answer questions. Okay, I'm coming. Let me stop sharing my screen so that I could turn on the camera for you to see who's been talking. Okay, I want to stop sharing. Great. Okay, great. I'm coming. Amazing. So, hello. Yeah. So I was hoping that we're going to be having question and answer tomorrow, so that we'll have more time to respond to all of your questions. So this is my suggestion, if that sits well with you. Why don't you write down your questions